Let's make it a good day.
Today on The Jason Show, it's been the home of shows like ER, Hill Street Blues, and Grey's Anatomy. But could the 9 p.m. hour of primetime go the way of the VCR? We have it in the hot dish. Then, a blast from the 80s past. She was a backup singer for Rick Astley. Now, she's front and center and joining us live. And what you reading? Kendall reveals the newest pick of her book club. The Jason Show starts right now. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning. I know. Like a little carousel. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Jason Show. We have a full house and a great show ahead. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm Jace. Please say hello. She's the OG. Kendall's off. She's the original recipe. It's Shane Wells, everybody.
Can you one more?
Yeah, look at it. One more spin.
So fun.
It is fun.
I don't get to do it that often.
I know, it is fun. How you doing?
Well, I mean, unlike this audience, we didn't get the day off.
No, we did not get. Well, half this audience called in sick, so that's right. We had that happen one time where two women lied to their bosses. They called in sick, and then they didn't realize that the Jason Show is broadcast in their work break room. And we did a whole bunch of audience shots that day. So the two women were sitting in an area where they were shown a lot. So the next day they go into work and the boss goes, "Hi, can we show you something?" And they had a video. The owner of the company pulled everybody into the break room to watch them and took a picture of them being busted. I'm like, yeah, if you're gonna lie to your boss, maybe not go to a television show. I mean, that's just, you know.
Put them in the back, the undercover light.
Maybe, yeah. No, they were sitting, I call it the spotlight chairs. They're sitting in the back where if I'm in the audience, they're right over, right there. Hello. Yeah, it's the gentleman in the blue shirt up at top. He's in, hope you're not lying to your boss, sir. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, because if I'm in the audience, that guy is usually over my shoulder, so shown a lot. Yeah. So, hey, speaking of the audience, I have some fun news for you, and that is next Friday, not tomorrow. Next Friday, we're going to be doing kind of a Halloween extravaganza show in the Halloween capital of the world, Anoka. So we're thank you, audience. So we're packing up our unmarked black van. We're putting all of our staff in there, and we're heading to Anoka. We will be broadcasting from my favorite chicken wing place on earth, Serums.
Wow.
So come now. So here are the details. We're live. Like, we don't tape this. When you see this, this is live. Thus, we show you all the mistakes. We are live at 10 a.m. Central. So if you're in the area, Serums is opening early. You do not need tickets. You do not need to sign up. It is first come, first serve. I want all of you there. They're going to open the kitchen early, so you know we're going to be eating some chicken wings early in the morning. The bar, too. If you want a Bloody Mary, that's on you. That's on you. It's going to be...
Are you dressing up?
No, we're not dressing up for this show, but you guys can dress up because it's all leading up to the next day on Saturday the 29th, Anoka, because I'm basically there half of my life. They've asked me to be the grand marshal of their Halloween parade. So
What's your name? You need more elbow.
Like that, more elbow?
More elbow.
More elbow. So that's Saturday, but again, next Friday, you don't need tickets. Come down and see us, too. One more audience note, just like Broadway shows, I know cruise lines just did this, buildings have done this. Rules are changing and evolving. Safety protocols have changed since the pandemic. We are no different. We're following suit. The Fox Corporation, who owns us, has decided they're changing our safety rules. So starting next week, just like cruise lines, you no longer need a vaccination to be in our audience. So that starts next week. So I just like to tell you, so if you have some unvaccinated friends that wanted to come see us, now is the time. And yeah, we're following Carnival Cruise and Disney Cruise. This is not a cruise, by the way. This is not, yeah. So I wish it was. I wish we had Kathy Lee Gifford singing around here. But anyway, very old reference of Kathy Lee Gifford. But anyway, so yeah. So that all starts next week.
Fun stuff.
I think we're done. I can go home now. I mean, I just said everything, yeah.
You got a little
We
more
have a little
time
bit
to fill.
more. That's
Yeah.
right. Let's get started, Leo. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it, Leo. Here we go. So a few weeks ago, we talked about NBC's rumored plans to eventually end primetime at 9 p.m. If you're watching us from the East Coast, 10 p.m. Well, now it looks like the other networks could follow. So here's the deal. Yesterday, at a National Association of Broadcasters panel, the head of a big old group of television stations called Hearst, it's one of the largest group of locally owned, they own the most television stations, said he expected that other networks are going to follow the Peacock's lead and hand over the 9 p.m. to local affiliates. None of the other executives on the panel pushed back on that prediction, but later in the day, CBS was like, oh, wait a minute, girl. We didn't say that. We didn't, I mean, I'm sure their PR office was freaking out. CBS said they have no plans to not have a 9 p.m. hour of prime time.
What does this mean?
Okay, what does this mean?
I work in TV and I don't even understand the implications of this. Help me out.
And you know that I'm a TV nerd, so
You have the answer.
okay. So prime time is 7 to 10 p.m. here in the Central. So you have a show at 7, show at 8, show at 9, and the news comes on at 10 p.m. Except for the Fox network.
Right.
Fox has always been 2 hours, the 7 o'clock hour and the 8. What the networks want to do, because streaming is killing them. I mean, let me just break it down. Streaming is killing them. And network TV isn't what it used to be, sadly, in the 80s and 90s when it was the epicenter of pop culture. It's getting expensive. It's expensive, especially the 9 p.m. hour is the home. Think about it. I said it in the promo. The 9 p.m. hour hosted shows like Hill Street Blues, ER, Grey's Anatomy. Those shows are very expensive, and the networks are like, maybe we don't need to do this for dwindling results. So they're going to give that hour back to the stations, and the stations can put on and sell the advertising dollars for shows like another newscast. Not necessarily a show like ours, but we are very proud that our show kind of our show led the way in daytime. When we debuted 8 years ago, local shows like this, and now we're, not just local, but no other station group had shows like this. They kind of went away in the 80s, and we very proudly ushered in this era, and now there are local shows, everywhere. But the same is going to happen at 9 p.m., I think. That's what it means. The stations will control that hour, not the networks.
Oh, man, Fox is going to have to fight at 9 now.
I know, it's going to be.
All the local news is going to be moving to 9. Interesting.
It's sad because I'm an old school guy. I remember Hill Street Blues and LA Law, and there were great shows at 9 p.m., but things change, and we're just not watching network TV like we used to. Speaking of streaming, next in the dish, Netflix, just like 20 minutes ago, just dropped the trailer for the new season, season 5, come back to the TV, of The Crown. Look at this.
She's at breaking point because of the way she feels she's been treated. They see her as a threat.
Remember the one condition, the one rule. You remain loyal to this family.
You've been silent.
Yes, it's a system. For better or for worse. We're all stuck in it. It feels it's all about to erupt.
She opens her mouth and hand grenades come out. She wants to tear down the temple.
Let's go for it.
What the hell is she doing?
I won't go quietly. I'll battle till the end.
Our glories belong to the past. And the world will move on. And we'll be left with nothing.
How did it come to this?
So, all new cast. All new cast, as you can see. A new Princess Diana, a new Charles. Imelda Staunton plays Queen Elizabeth now. Season 5 drops next month, and already there's controversy. Dame Judi Dench is calling on the show to add a disclaimer before each episode, letting us know that it's fiction. Yeah, we know it's fiction, girl. We know it's fiction. We know. I mean, and if you don't know that, I mean, I don't know. We can't help you. I mean, it's fiction. It's a show. It's not a documentary. I mean, for the love of Pete. Anyway, and you know what? I love Dame Judi Dench. I love a dame, but I'm a little suspect of her getting all like, this is atrocious. You know why? She's friends with Queen Consort Camilla Parker Bowles.
Oh.
And, you know, The Crown hasn't portrayed Camilla that well. Sorry, you know. Sorry you're friends with her, but girl, I'm watching that show. I don't care about you. Yeah.
Real Housewives of the Crown.
Yeah, Real Housewives of Buckingham Palace.
I love it. I would watch that.
You don't watch it, right? I remember
No,
that. Yeah.
no.
That's not your jam.
No, I just got sleepy watching it. Yes. Thank you, Phil.
Nobody asked you, Phil. Nobody asked you.
I asked Phil. I appreciate his support.
Where's his horse muzzle? He's allowed in here if we muzzle him. Anyway, we're going to take a break. More when we come back. Back in a moment, everyone. Yeah. So, you know, anytime we talk dating shows, you know whose fault it is. Producer Ted. So yeah, this is life, yeah. But this is good, y'all. This is good. The new season of Love is Blind dropped this week. Okay, I know, but just trust me.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Sorry to jump in.
Netflix released a clip from the pods. Look at how embarrassing this is.
When I was in high school, we were in the Cayman Islands on a family vacation, which is where my mom used to live for 3 or 4 years when she was engaged. And we were going to all sorts of different spots that my mom used to hit up when she lived there. We went to this bar, and there's a live band with a singer, and the singer came up and said hi to my mom, and he kind of just walked by. My mom was just being silent. We were just like, okay, what the hell's going on here? And then he clears the dance floor and like asks me, my mom, and my sister to be the only ones on the dance floor because he wants to sing us a special song. And my dad was with us. I'm like, okay, what the is going on here? Like, what is this? Essentially, the whole group of us has put it together that this is the man that my mom was engaged to. My dad, when he found out, threw a and so that was the beginning of the end for my parents' relationship.
That's not even bad, but I see that that was hard for you, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. While you do your jumping jacks.
You can hear it?
No, yeah.
Wow. That is horrifying. That's absolutely horrifying.
He did not deserve that.
He did, okay, because
he's sharing his heart and
he's
a really
sharing his heart
story.
and hashtag he's really good looking. So you're
a lot
gonna
of girls
regret-
like him. He's a hot item in,
really?
in the pods. Yeah.
Well, I can see why. And she's Jane Fonda, her ass over there. I was like, come on, yeah.
She's a Pilates instructor.
She is a Pilates.
Yep.
Of course she is. This show, are you? No, you are watching this.
I love this show.
I know you do.
It is a great train wreck.
It is
to be a part of.
It is. It's guilty pleasure. Yeah, and if you don't know, y'all, they can't see each other and they have to fall in love, and they have to trust their communication with them, and that's what they base their decision on, and then they come together.
And get married. Okay, here's the thing. If he watches this back, if they end up together, because they both like each other, how upsetting is it going to be to see how frivolously she took his time?
He's
his
25.
story?
He doesn't care. Yeah.
He doesn't want us to think about his age as a number. He's ready
I
to
don't
get
care.
married.
I'm not thinking about his age. Let's be very clear. I mean, yeah. And number 2, Kendall does that when I'm talking all the time too. So yeah, the new season is available on Netflix. You just don't see it. We don't show you. The hot dish continues now with our insider to the stars. Whatever, Shane. Whatever. Please welcome from the Hollywood Raw podcast, it's Dax Holt. Hi, Dax.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
What, buddy?
I said good morning to you and good morning to everyone out there.
Good morning. Now, Dax, you don't do exercises when I'm talking ever when we're doing our segments, do you?
It's just you just can't see my legs, but I'm
Okay,
on a little treadmill underneath the desk.
Exactly. Who did you have on this week? You had another paparazzo on the show, right?
Oh, yes, because those are the episodes that everyone seems to love the most. And we had one of the world's most successful paparazzi. His name is Clint Brewer. He has been doing this for decades and phenomenal. I'm sure you've seen hundreds of his photos. One of the ones that we spoke about that got like the most news recently, he was the guy behind the first photos of Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde, the ones that confirmed that they were together holding hands at a wedding. Do you remember those photos?
Oh, yeah, we had him here on the show, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he was the guy that shot those photos, and we talked to him all about, number one, how he knew where they were gonna be, how he got the shots, like what went down that day. Really fascinating conversation. The funny part was, he didn't even know he was gonna be getting them. He thought Olivia Wilde was there on a date with a woman. And that was the big rumor going around that she was dating a woman. And so he thought, oh, I'm gonna get shots of her out with a girl. And then out walks Harry Styles and her holding hands. And so he explains exactly what went down, what was going through his brain at the time. It was a really fun conversation. We got into that, he's been covering Adam Levine and Bahati, his wife, and how there's obviously been a lot of drama in that relationship, but he says, I've seen them hanging out on the beach. They didn't even know cameras were around, and they seemed very lovey-dovey, happy, and so he's like, I feel like things are actually going really well for them right now, despite all the internet drama going on around them.
Dax, I'm wondering, maybe not just him, but you talked to and you worked with a lot of paparazzi. I wonder this, because I would get such anxiety. I don't like bothering people. Do they ever get, or do they have to turn their emotions off? Do they ever get anxious or nervous or, you know what I mean? Do they?
Yeah, no, we've talked to quite a few. Some yes, some no. I think that it also depends on, with Clint, he seems to be more of I stand back, I don't want to talk to anyone, I just want to get photos and capture the moment. There's other people like Adam, my co-host, who he wants the video, the interaction, the interview. He doesn't seem to get nervous because he's kind of like one of the most liked guys in New York. Like Oprah comes up to him and is like, Adam, hey, what do you want to talk about today? So I think it's the level of which you're at and when, how many people know you out there, whether you get nervous or not. But there are other people that are like, I didn't have questions prepared. I didn't know that person was going to walk in front of me. So I had to think really quickly on my toes.
Let me end with a compliment. Your moisturizer is doing real good, Dax. You look real good today, girl. You look real good.
Well, thank you. It's all the lighting and stuff.
Not that I wasn't listening to you, but they did a close-up. I'm like, Dax looking real good today.
Thank you, Jason, but I do have a bone to pick with you. I'm DMing with Phil out there who's saying that my invite had been rescinded to the state fair.
Okay, several things. First, I would like security to remove Phil. So if they're watching from our lobby, you can come get him. And then I knew I shouldn't have said yes that he could be here today. And number two, it wasn't rescinded. We had budget cuts because of our president, Marion Mim Davy Kessler. So blame her. Lies. Yeah. Whatever. Oh, now he's not speaking to me. Whatever. Bye, Dax. Love ya. You can find the Hollywood Raw podcast. What's that phrase? Sometimes the call's coming from within the house. Right over there.
It's right there.
You can find the Hollywood Raw podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Next in the dish, Matthew Perry is ready to open up about his battle with alcohol and drug addiction. I can't wait to read this. In a new book, he reveals that he almost died 4 years ago. He said he suffered a gastrointestinal perforation after his colon burst from an opioid overdose. Doctors, listen to this. Doctors gave him a 2% chance of survival at the time. He said at one point he was taking 55 Vicodin a day. 55. He said he has been to rehab 15 times and says the Friends cast has been with him the entire time. His new book, by the way, hits newsstands on November 1st. You knew something was going on.
It's been hard to watch.
It has been.
Because every time you see him, he's like a different person, and you know he has some inner struggles going on.
Well, I know that you watch Friends as much as Colin does. I don't know, I'm sure I'll be told, there was a season, y'all remember, there was a season where Matthew lost a ton of weight. He was so, and not like getting healthy skinny.
Yeah.
Remember that season?
Yes.
And it was, and so anyone could see that there was something going on.
Right.
Something bad going on. And then at the reunion,
that was hard.
That was hard to watch. He seemed to have, they didn't go to him a lot, and probably out of respect to protect him. It's just been hard because I love Chandler.
I hope he's on the other side of this. It
Yeah.
sounds like he is, and he's admitting.
And don't you love too that the Friends cast has been with them? They're not just cast members, that they're real friends. Something makes me really happy. I love that. I love that. Next in the dish, part 2 of the reunion for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills aired last night. Yeah, okay, now let me set this up. So Garcelle, you know, who we all love, we're Team Garcelle all the way on the show. Garcelle saw a social media post where Erica threw away Garcelle's new book, and she took a picture of it in the garbage. Well, then, when they brought it up, Erica looked over at Lisa Rinna, and Rinna goes, fine, I'm the one that threw away Garcelle's book. And Erica just reposted it, and that led to this interaction.
Erica, did you at least skim Garcelle's book for mentions of you before you chucked it in the trash?
I'm the one that threw Garcelle's book in the trash.
Oh, really?
Garcelle and I had a handshake agreement. The kids were off limits. And so about 1.5 years later, she put my daughter Amelia in her book. In not a positive light, in a negative light. And that was what I did.
What was in the book about Amelia? I thought that what was in the book was you retold the story of what had happened on the show. Is that what was
me
in
retelling the story of what happened in Rome. Do you think that your body image affected your daughter in any way?
So, if you're a little like, what? So all Garcelle did in her book, it was one sentence explaining why Rinna and her have not gotten along. And Garcelle, I'm paraphrasing, said, the dust-up kind of started in Rome when Lisa Rinna on television brought up her daughter's eating disorder problems. And Garcelle posed the question, and you may not like the question when it was posed here, but Garcelle said, do you feel as a mom who's on Instagram showing a lot, do you blame yourself? Is it hard? That's all that Garcelle said in her book. She didn't talk bad about Amelia, and let's be clear, it was Rinna who put her daughter on television about that. All Garcelle, anyway, and that led to that riff. I felt so bad because then the cast started talking about, it got very petty. The cast started talking about.
They got petty?
I know, imagine that,
Wow.
yeah. But
Since when?
They started talking about this ongoing group text message that everybody seems to be on but Garcelle. Ugh. And I just thought that, we never really leave high school, we really never do. Even in all adults, if you're in a workplace, you know what I mean. That doesn't feel good. I wouldn't feel good if there was an ongoing group text message between Jeff and Ted and Kendall, and I'm not on it. Oh, wait. Does that exist?
There's a lot of silence.
There's a lot of silence. Nobody in the crew's looking at me. Anyway, I'm joking, but I wouldn't like it on the radio show. I wouldn't like if Alexis and Dawn had something going. I would feel bad. I don't like that for Garcelle. It makes me mad.
Watching this show, doesn't it just is it just kind of gross?
Oh, God, no. It's like the best cup of coffee or vodka ever. Yeah.
My bad.
It's time to meet today's... No, it's like a vodka soda. With lime, it's time to meet today's JVIP. We have two. First up, Dana Portis from Brooklyn Park. She says she started watching our show when she began working from home. Dana says, I'm funny with good topics on the show. Thank you. She also loves that we're all down to earth, not judgmental. Well, we are sometimes. And I understand everybody struggles regardless of their background. We do try. Dana says, I'm not the typical person on TV that acts snotty and feels like she would be good friends with me. Aaron, stop laughing. Next. Melissa Hoopert. Hi, Melissa. She's from Eden Prairie. She's here. Melissa says, hi. Melissa says I can make her smile and calls me kind, generous, and relatable. She loves that I stand up for those that need a push to be positive. She also likes her segments that they're informative and fun to watch. Thank you. And she loves the Before the Show too. I like that. Dana and Melissa both get Jason Show mugs. They're also entered to win the monthly grand prize. That includes coming to the show studio to watch the show, $150 accessories gift card to Becker Furniture World, and a $200 gift card from Wood House Spa. And actually, Melissa's right there in our audience. We love you, Melissa. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everyone. We're full of dish. Fun is a whole other story. Coming up next, she sang backup for one of the biggest pop stars of the 80s. Now Pamela Mcneil is standing and singing on her own. She'll join us live with some great behind-the-scenes stories. And drama, true crime, or bio. What's the next pick for Kendall's book club? You'll find out when The Jason Show continues. This is no big shock if you watch the show at all, but you know I love the 80s. I was an 80s kid. Recently we had a guest on the show who wrote the book quite literally on the 80s, and that inspired our next guest to reach out to one of our producers because she worked with an 80s, and legend, music legend of the 80s is true. Herself, she worked with, you'll see. Please welcome singer-songwriter Pamela Mcneil, everyone. Pamela. Hi. Okay. I had Rick, she performed with Rick Astley, everybody. I mean, thank you. This is so weird sitting with you because I remember I had the maxi single. Remember they had the maxi singles? And then I had the single, and then I had the 45. Oh my gosh. Kids don't even know what the hell I'm talking about with 45s, but how did you meet Rick?
So I went to England and lived there for 4 years in the 80s, obviously. And I was backstage at a Fleetwood Mac concert. And this woman...
Of course you were.
Of course. You know how it is.
Yeah.
And this woman came up to me and she said, I hear you're a singer. Is that true? I said, yes. And she said, I might have some work for you. And she, I think it was the little hot pink dress I was wearing or something. But anyway, she said, and she called me the next week and she ran like the biggest, it was called the Session Connection. So she would book everybody to be on like the Pink Floyd tours and whatever. So she called me and she had me go down and meet with Pete Waterman from Stock Aitken and Waterman. They were the production company that produced all of those big 80s pop bands from England.
Yeah.
And he just said, okay, you got the gig. And the next thing I knew, I was playing Royal Albert Hall with Rick Astley.
So that's like the definition of serendipitous. So why were you backstage at Fleetwood Mac?
Because the man I was dating at the time was a member of a really popular group in England. And so we ran in those circles. He was with the Cutting Crew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, yeah. Look at you!
I
love that. So that's why you're backstage.
Yeah.
And then this woman just walks up. That is the universe saying something to you.
I know. It was crazy. It was like, wow.
Okay, what was, for you, oh, look, this is 88, Top of the Pops.
Oh my God, Top of the Pops.
Okay, when you think of that era, when you think of that time period, I'm sure, time has a way of smoothing out the rough edges, and it leaves usually the best up. What do you think of? Is there a tour? Is there a performance? Is there an interaction? What floats to the top of your mind from that era?
From working with him?
With working with Rick.
I think playing for royalty at the Royal Variety performance, and and being on stage with the Golden Girls and Banana.
I'm sorry, what?
I know, it was crazy. Yeah, it was like all.
I mean, you're sitting next to a gay man, so when you say Golden Girls. We're going to stop the interview and just kind of focus in on that. What do you mean they were... Oh, show. They did a show.
Well, they were part of the Royal Variety Show every year. They bring in like the top pop acts, and then they bring in like Julio Iglesias, or they had circus performers. They had the Golden Girls, they had the cast of Neighbors, which was a really popular.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Yes, Neighbors, and they had like Kylie Minogue, and you know, so it was just backstage as we were waiting to go out for the very end, the encore. Behind me were the Golden Girls, all standing there, which is probably one of the coolest moments of my entire life. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I want to listen to your new song, but one more Rick question.
Yeah.
Did Rick know? Did you think Rick had any idea what that song would do?
No, I don't think so.
Never going to give you up is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I don't think he did, but I mean, I remember hearing it the first time and going, "This is massive."
Yeah.
I mean, it was the right timing. It was the right, and he was just the perfect person to deliver that. And yeah.
Well, speaking of songs, we have a clip. This is Pam, because you know Pamela's here not just to talk about Rick. She has her song "Hollywood Rain." Roll it, Leo. Okay, several things. First, I love your hair.
Thank you.
Number two, love that set. Where was that?
That was in Nashville. We filmed at this new place that it's phenomenal. It's the most amazing big digital. I mean, it was
phenomenal.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's a great. Where did you write? Where did you write that song?
I wrote that at our house in Eden Prairie during lockdown, and I was thinking about how much it just hit me, how much I missed the '80s, and so the whole song is sort of a tribute to the '80s and just how I felt like those times were better and happier and more joyful.
Yeah, and they had Dallas and Knots Landing.
That's right.
I mean, yeah, you know.
Hello.
Yeah. Come back. Oh, you're just right down the road?
Yeah.
You gotta come back more.
I'm gonna come back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like the next time Kendall's on, you should like sidekick with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pamela is. Look at that cover. Look at you. Anyway, for information on her album and how to get tickets to her show, because she is performing at Crooners, go to PamelaMcneil.com, and we'll post this a little bit later. PamelaMcneil.com. We'll be right back, everyone. Back in a moment.
Thanks so much.
Are you a hugger? Yeah. Let's do a picture. Oh, we'll do one. We'll do one, and then Addie will send it to you. We'll come down here. Welcome back. Okay. Kind of have an unintentional theme going on here. Well, on this day 38 years ago, one of the greatest one-hit wonders ever hit the airwaves this week. Remember this? That's right, Aha's Take On Me went on to hit #1 thanks to this iconic video. I think still one of the best videos ever. Look at that hair. Anyway, it's also the inspiration for today's game time. Roll it, Leo. Here we go. Today's game is Name That Tune One Hit Wonder Edition. Playing in the studio, please say hello to Sandy. And say hello to Bruce, everyone. Okay. So this is how it's going to work. Director Leo is going to roll a little bit of the sound, and the minute you know, hit the buzzers in front of you. If you're ready, we're ready. Leo, tune #1, please. Okay. Yes! And I will tell you, to make this, it's Iran, I will tell you, to make it a little easier, I will accept either the group or the song, just to make it easier, because we only have 20 more minutes. So here we go. Here we go. Leo, tune #2, please. Bruce!
My Sharona.
Yes! Featured in various soundtracks. My favorite is from Reality Bites in 1994. Okay. Okay, 2 down, 7 to go. Here we go. Leo. It's Chumbawamba. Anybody know? I get knocked down. Tub thumping. Yeah, that is tub thumping Chumbawamba. Sandy, you're telling me you've never been to a Chumbawamba concert? Hey, Sandy, what's wrong with you? Come on. Okay, Leo, next one, please.
Well, you couldn't be that man I adore. You don't seem
90s.
to know, seem to care.
Female singer, obviously. That wasn't much of a clue, Jason. You can do it to a piece of paper. Okay, time's up. That is... Sandy, you're killing me. It's Torn, Natalie Imbruglia. Do you know who Natalie is?
I don't have a clue.
It's all right.
How about 70s instead of 90s?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sandy is requesting 70s songs over here. Yeah. Ted, can we change the damn game, please? Okay, here we go. Let's do another one. Roll it, Leo.
I never said I
Okay, stop it, Leo. It's not happening. We're forcing it now. That's Two of Hearts by Stacy Q.
That one I actually should have known.
Oh, whatever, Bruce. Okay. Oh God. Let's do one more and put this out of its misery. Here we go.
I know you think I'm like
Bruce!
Jenny 6975309. 8675309.
Yes! The judges will accept 8796204. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for 2 of the best contestants we've ever had, Bruce and Sandy. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everyone. Oh my God, that was fantastic. Thank you, buddy. Oh God, that was good. By the way, in the commercial break, Sandy got tickets to Chumbawamba's reunion tour. Oh, Sandy. We've never had, in 8 seasons, I gotta tell you, in 8 seasons, we've never had a contestant just literally say, could you change the whole game right now? The spooky season is here, and if you're tired of watching scary movies, how about a book instead? From mysteries to gothic horror and more, Kendall and her mom are back with another book club pick, perfect for this month. Look.
All right, books time. I'm gonna go first this time. I just read a book that is now one of my favorites, like, I don't know, like top 15 at least. It's this. It's called The Invisible Life of Addie Larue. This is basically the Faustian tale. So a woman in 1700s France is supposed to get married and she doesn't want to, but she doesn't have many options. So she goes into the woods one night and prays to the gods and someone answers, but it's essentially the devil. So she makes a deal and sells her soul that if she can live forever, no one will remember her. So it's a way to get out of her marriage, but every time, every day, someone leaves a door, they go to bed, whatever it is, they completely forget about her. And it goes into her life and what that's like. And then quickly in 2014, she meets someone in a bookstore and he remembers her. And so it's a fascinating, really, really good book. Makes a deal with the devil. You'll see the price that she pays. It ends with a twist. Highly recommended. The Invisible Life of Addie Larue.
Excellent. I am definitely going to be reading that one. My book is by one of my favorite Minnesota authors, William Kent Krueger. A few months ago, I reviewed his book, This Tender Land. He only has 2 standalones, This Tender Land and this other one I'm reviewing today. He's very famous for his Cork O'Connell mystery series. So if anyone's interested in mysteries, they're excellent. But this one, Ordinary Grace by William Kent Krueger. Like I said, he's from Minnesota. It was so good that I honestly didn't even know how to review it. I had a very rough time. So I'm going to make it a little brief. And I think the only way to really get how beautiful this book is to read it. It brought me back to my childhood, those long summer days when you're a young child and it's hot outside and we could ride our bikes anywhere we wanted to all day long into the evening. No parental supervision. You go to the drugstore, have that ice cold root beer. And so those were some of the things that were beautiful about it, but it was actually a very intense book. It was the summer of '61 in a small town in New Bremen, Minnesota. It was the Twins' debut season. We had a brand new young president, so the United States was very hopeful about its future. But in this town, 13-year-old Frank Dunn had a very grim summer. And I'm just going to give you a quote from the first chapter of the book. The quote says, "A summer in which death, in visitation, assumed many forms." So it was a pretty sad, rough summer for him. But then it turned even worse. His own family was struck by tragedy. Now, his family was made up of his Methodist minister father, his artistic, passionate mother, his beautiful Juilliard-bound sister, and his wise beyond his years little brother, who was his constant companion. And they find themselves, Frank and his little brother find themselves thrown into an adult world of secrets, lies, betrayal, adultery, all these things that they shouldn't have to deal with at such a young age. This book is told from Frank's perspective, looking back on what happened to him 40 years ago during this summer. So truly unforgettable book, very moving. And another quote from the book would be, "It's about the awful price of wisdom and the grace of God." 5-star review, please go and read it. And then if we have a second, just because it's October, we wanted to talk about Alice Hoffman and her books, starting with Practical Magic, which bonus, the movie is even better than the book, I think. And then now she has a new series that goes back in time, and it's a prequel series. It starts with the rules of magic and goes from there. And I think we both just absolutely loved her writing.
It's true. In the movie.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman. Great.
Little witchcraft for October, so go grab it from your library.
Go grab it. Thanks, Mom.
Go grab it.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Sid. If you miss any of the book club picks, we'll be posting this segment on our Jason Show Facebook and YouTube pages. Just search for Jason Show TV. And don't forget, if you miss any of our episodes live, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post the full episodes right there. We'll be right back, everyone. Back in a moment. Welcome back. There we go. It is time for the world's shortest segment. Today, the case of the missing otter. Someone stole an otter statue in Fredericksburg, Virginia, but thanks to a good Samaritan, it was found and returned to its original spot. The Browns otter is part of the Otterly Amazing project in the city. I'm not making that up. And we happen to get an exclusive mugshot of the culprit. It's Oliver the otter, that's right. It seems he was a little jealous of the otter statue's fame. And I love the arm in the photo. Thank you, Rob King. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everybody, to wrap things up. Welcome back. We are wrapping up the big shoe. Don't forget to come see us a week from Friday. We're going to be live at Serum's in Anoka at 10 a.m. next Friday. You don't have to get tickets, just show up. It's time for the surprise goodbye. You know how this works. I don't know what's in this segment until I read it cold right here. Today, one guy's Halloween display that's definitely over the top. No! Those are drones, by the way. A guy in California created a 400-foot tall Halloween display using lights and drones. Not surprisingly, he's the CEO of a company called Magical Light Shows. Imagine that. The display features music and images from movies and TV shows like Ghostbusters and Stranger Things. That is phenomenal. Oh, look at that. Okay. I can see why he owns that company. Yeah. That's going to do it for us. Don't forget, if you want tickets to our regular show next week, we'll be back live. Just go to our Facebook page and click tickets. But right now, that's going to do it for us. If you're watching and you're a kid that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Thanks to this audience and Sandy and Bruce. We'll see you Monday.